Welcome to class. We're going to explore the magnificent hips region and get deeper into nourishing this area that is the joints of the hips just being so deep within the muscles. Sometimes they need a little extra time. So we'll do some of that nurturing today. We'll begin in a seated position, and just if the hips are uncomfortable in any kind of seated position, just take another one, and we'll move to a reclined position as well. We're going to take our time on the floor, adding more gravity to our practice today. So I hope you enjoy. Let's find a comfortable seat. So let's take that trip to the sits bones there and find the edge of a cushion or blanket or a seat on a chair. Bring yourself to the edge of that cushion or chair. Inhale, exhale, feel the pelvis spill slightly forward. And inhale and exhale. Enter our yoga practice through the gateway of the breath. Noticing the state of your mind, body, and spirit today as you enter your yoga room, your yoga mat, your sanctuary. Feel free to close the eyes to come into more balance with an internal eye on the body as we follow our natural autonomic breath, that breath of every moment, every day. Just acknowledging some appreciation for that. We'll breathe deeply into the belly, just taking our mind's eye down to the base, to the pelvis, finding the center of the pelvis in your mind's eye, feeling the anchor of the sits bones. And then we'll tether ourselves around the tailbone and travel up past the sacrum to the lumbar spine and that beautiful, graceful curve, individual to each of us, that we bring to this world, traveling on up the spine towards the ribs, feeling the back of the ribs as you breathe, inhaling, noticing that traveling of the breath through the rib cage. And we'll coil ourselves on up the spine, just a visual lighting up of the spine past the shoulder blades that support the back. When we optimize those shoulder blades, we can just gently press them into the back of the ribs. So we're supporting a tall seat, a tall heart shining forward. And then past those shoulder blades, let's visit the shoulder sockets. With our next exhale, we feel the shoulders dropping away from the ears as they line up with the ears on our vertical plane. And then that juncture of the upper spine with the neck. Another graceful curve. And let's enter the skull, the top of the spine inside the skull. Noticing that space between the ears. There's an axis point there for our vision, for our gaze. And just allowing the fingertips to drop to the floor, feeling this extra anchor. So we'll take a deep belly breath, 3-part breath. Allow the inhale to travel to the base, down to the base again, to that middle of the pelvis. Echoing that diaphragmatic opening, doming out so we really fill the belly. And exhale, draw into the center as if it's just drawing that light up the spine towards the crown of the head. So we're drawing that energy up to fill the connections from our base all the way up into the heavens. Inhale into that deep pelvis. Exhale, draw it on up to the sky. Feel free to press those fingertips into this mat so you feel that rooting So the hips really root us, and they also take a lot of weight from gravity. So we'll try to undo a bit of that gravity with our practice today. Weight less, trying to float with the hips so that we're easier when we do go back to vertical. Flutter your eyes open, look to the left and the right, and then make circles with the eyes around, just connecting our vision with our practice, and circles the other way. If this makes you dizzy, just close your eyes. Find that neutral place with your gaze, and again, flutter the eyes open. Inhale. Do you feel a little taller? I hope so. Take your chin towards the right shoulder. And then crossing the center line, feeling that axis inside the skull, turn towards the left shoulder. Coming back to center, let's take the fingertips behind you so your thumbs are forward. And then look down at the heart. Draw a line, look up at the sky. Exhale into a neutral gaze. So let's just draw circles with our chin in front of us in one direction, keeping that nice alignment with your ears, with the shoulders. And then change the direction of the circle. Drawing circles in space here. And then find the neutral gaze. Beautiful. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, right ear toward right shoulder. Let's feel this from the anchor of your left hip, just up the side body. And past the shoulder, past that trapezius, lengthening here towards the right, lengthening the left as we press the left fingertips into the mat. Inhale, left ear towards the sky. Exhale, drop the ear towards the right. And then take the right hand, help that head out up. Inhale, exhale to the other side. Press through the right fingertips. Follow that breath. Anchor through the right sits bone. Feel that connection all the way up the side body to the side of that neck and the head. Right ear towards the sky. Exhale, left ear towards left shoulder. And then take your left hand, lift on up. So now we've gotten space in the spine. We can take the hands to the thighs, just feel that sense of grounding, that rooting through the hips. As you press your fingertips inward towards the midline, you're going to get that extra anchoring through the hips and inward spiral on the legs and the thighs. That'll definitely relieve the low back to some degree. We'll take a circle of our around the axis, this vertical axis, with our spine just taking root through the hips and taking circles around as if you're on the inside of a barrel. Noticing any tight points in the hips, and then change the circle to the other direction. A nice pivot here. And bring those circles inward so you're wrapping yourself around the center. Nice. And if you're in cross-legged and you want to change the cross of the legs, great time to do it. Let's inhale the arms skyward. Reach up as if you're picking a beautiful fall fruit. Feel free to look up at the hand and feel the length from that left hip to the fingertips. Exhale. Back to center, reach up with the right. Feel free to look up, or if it's more comfortable for your neck to look forward, you can do that. And try left and right again, really using that strength of your side waist to reach nice and tall. Another side again. And another rotation, and lifting on up, fingertips. Inhale. Shoulders towards the ears. Exhale them away from the ears. So we feel that connection between the shoulders, but we're not straining through the neck. And then come down to cactus, arms, fingertips out like sun rays. Take the thumbs behind you. Inhale. Exhale. Let's take the thumbs behind us. Pinkies up. Exhale. Drop the hands down. And just hang that laundry on the line. The forearms, let go of any effort. Release the fingers. Those typing fingers. And then inhale up. Sunshine. And then hitchhiker thumb back. Pinkies up. Inhale. Exhale, bring the palms forward and drop the forearms. Release the wrists, release the fingers, gravity. Back up to cactus. Inhale, exhale, close the forearms together, pressing in. Side of hands press in together. Inhale, lift on up. Exhale, open up. Bring the elbows to the ribs as we move that energy down towards the hips, and then together in front, pressing on up. Cascade that energy down again as the elbows come to the ribs, and then forearms forward. One more time, and when you come up this time, allow the hands to come back to cradle the base of the skull, elbows out to the side. So we're going to arc from the hip, from the base of the spine all the way up as we bring the heart and the sternum up towards the sky, cradle the base of the skull, elbows out. Exhale, let's curl in and bring the elbows together, or as much as together as you can in front of you. And then as you inhale, invite the breath in from that expansiveness of the sky. Exhale, curl in, elbows together. And again, open this like a book. Exhale together. Finding your neutral vertical. Wave the arms up to the sky again. Exhale, let's turn the sternum. Keep that chin looking forward as you turn the sternum and the shoulders to the right. And coil on over. Look over your sternum and then over to the right. Sweeping the arms back up, touching the clouds. Exhale, fingertips down. Keep the gaze forward as the sternum turns. Sounds like a soap opera. And then turn the gaze over the sternum and over to the left. And as the sternum turns one more time. Seeing if we can bring a little more twist. One more time, and down from the hips on upward. All right, come back to center, and we're going to take ourselves down to the floor. Now that we've given our hips a little bit of waking up this way, let's bring ourselves to the floor. So we're going to need a block and possibly a blanket. So take your feet to the base of the mat. Spread the toes. Make sure we address that base at the bottom. Make sure you spread those toes, allowing for space in between them before you come down to the mat. Yes. Press down with the toe pads. Take your hands to the back of the thighs. Inhale, tall. Exhale, curl the spine. So we do kind of a reverse cat pose as we go down to the floor. And then when we feel a bit of release, we can just take our hands to the back of the head. And these are all familiar moves, but it's really nice to take our time with them. Take the feet to the floor and just feel the feet on the floor, feel this strong base, and feel the gravity help our hips just release. Even in this simple position, arms at the side. Bring your mind's eye to those hip joints. Now that we've done our vertical work, here in the horizontal plane, inhale. Bring that awareness with your breath to the hips. So we've got the femur bone fitting right into the pelvis in that hip joint, deep, deep in there with all the muscles. Light it up. Nice glowing red light, perhaps red, orange, whatever you choose. Exhale, feel the shoulders melting away from the sternum. Inhale, hug the knee on the left towards you. And then bring that knee out, gently rotating, again, lighting up that hip on the left. So we're definitely keeping that awareness of the hip socket, ball and socket, just rotating out to the left. Choose your direction of circle. And then reverse the circle. Feel free to keep the hands on the shins or the hands on the back of the thigh. And then we'll take our hand to the back of the thigh, just allow that sole of the foot to go skyward for a moment, just hugging in towards the chest. Inhale, exhale, allow the sacrum to place down on the mat, and then release that foot down. Our next inhale, we just invite that right knee into the chest, hug it in. And then take a circle, bring that spotlight to the right hip socket, sending fluid energy there. And let's change the direction of the circle. So we can just take our time here. The hips, again, we need time with them, a little more deep awareness of these deep connections. Take your hands to the back of the thigh, sole of the foot to the sky, just a gentle hug inward towards the chest. Exhale, find the base of the spine, the sacrum, planted on the mat. So we're stabilizing our hips here, finding anchor, and then release the right foot down to the floor. Beautiful. So let's take those feet to the floor evenly. Take the fingertips to the back of the heels so we can tell where we are in space, and we're going to stabilize more and keep ourselves even. Now would be the time to get that block as we're going to spa bridge our way up. So press the feet into the floor, curl the spine, feel that activation of your abdominals as you lift the hips skyward, and then press that, bring that sacrum down, exhaling on to the block. And we're going to spend some time here, so make sure that you're comfortable, or use a blanket if it's more comfortable to lift your hips that way. If the block is too hard, it's definitely a hard surface. It's nice and even, which is great, but have a nice even folded blanket if you do use the blanket. Here we are in our supported bridge. Inhale all the way into those hips. Exhale, see if you can release some more, or just bring awareness and intention to that spine, to all the pathways of connections from the hips down to the feet, and then from the hips all the way up the torso to the crown of the head. Remembering we're all connected through this, right? We have a way of looking at parts of our body so separately. So let's use the breath to bring union to everything. Yoga does mean a union of things. So inhale the left knee towards the face, and we're going to take that hands to the back of the thigh. And then take the knee out towards the left armpit and take the sole up to the sole of the foot up to the sky. So you're going to feel that sacrum curl towards the sky. Exhale, see if you can just remind it to anchor a little bit into that block. Holding the back of the thighs. Get familiar with the gravity here. You could take the hand to the ankle on the left or the inside of the foot, only if that works. We're going to be really kind to that hip and just listen in. Exhale. If you want to straighten the right leg, we can get some really nice opener through our psoas, that long muscle. If we flex the right foot and stand on that imaginary surface. If any of this is too much for the left hip right away, come back to your hand on the back of the thigh. So we feel that support. Inhale the right arm next to right ear. And just feel the length on the right. Maybe grab a millimeter further with your foot or your fingertips. Feel the thigh drop on the left. Sweeping the right arm next to the body. Let's bend the right knee. Inward. That foot on the floor. Woo, release that left foot to the floor. Wow. I felt that one. Inhale, right knee to the chest. Inhale, exhale. Let's take the hands to the back of the thigh, rising that foot, sole of the foot to the sky. Feel the curling into the spine and exhale that sacrum down to the block or the blanket. Hand to the ankle, or if you want to just stay supported at the thigh here, since we're early in the practice, that's all right too. Inhale into the belly. Feel that nice pathway of breath. Exhale, straighten the left leg. See if you can find that connection up the side of the leg, all the way up the torso as we take the left hand next to the left ear. Feeling the right hip drop towards the body. Maybe reach a little further with your left foot and left hand. Send that level of acceptance to wherever your hips are right now. Sweep the left arm down next to the body. Bend the left knee foot on the floor. Release down. Oh, yeah. Let's take the feet together. So soles of the feet together. And we'll open up the knees out into butterfly and open the arms up to the sky. Acceptance through the hands, through the palms of wherever you are right now. Inhale, exhale. As you press the feet together, you might feel a lifting through the glutes. And exhale, release. Release the pressure of the feet together. Maybe you'll find a little more opening. Pressing the feet together. Inhale, exhale, release. And also the shoulders drop too, towards the floor. Giving our heart to mind connection along the way, a nice oxygenation. Feel free to just rock the knees side to side if you'd like. Great. Take the hands to the sides of the thighs. Bring it on back up. Take the feet down to the floor. And then we'll activate those lower abdominals. Let's bring the knees up towards the sky, legs 90 degrees. Bring your arms to the floor and your hands down so you feel that folding open, pressing down through the arms and straighten out the legs. So our legs now, as we hold them aloft, or in exhale, we're allowing the femur to fit nicely in that hip socket. And we can take a trip with our toes here, just point and flex, maybe circle the ankles, listen to some snap, crackle, pop. And then zipping up into that center line between the legs, just keeping that connection active even as you open out into a V with the legs, magnetizing them together back into the center. Inhale, exhale, bring them together. A little bit of our synchronized swimmer moves. Out and together again. Noticing what muscles are activated here, stabilizing some of those outer thighs, inner thighs. These are all stabilizing energy to bring to our hips as we build strength. We can take those soles of the feet together again and grab for the ankles as the knees come open. And then back up to candlesticks. And rooting this in our hips. So we notice the pivot in the hips. And up. One more rotation here. And then reaching on up. Gracefully allowing those feet to come to the floor together evenly. Pressing through the full length of your arms and the palms and the fingertips down to the floor. Lift the hips up off the block. Bring the sternum towards the chin, a soft gaze to the sky. Again, this expansive energy, bringing it in through the breath. Nice grounding through your feet, through your arms, those strong glutes. You can remove the block from underneath that sacrum. Holding for another round of breath here. Bringing energy into our third eye from the heart. And exhale, curl down, bone by bone, down to the mat. Ay, so nice. Bring the knees together, feet wide apart. Let's windshield wiper the legs so we get the outer thighs, sides of the thighs, IT band. And let's do the whole dance with our arms too, thumbs to the elbow creases, side to side. Oh, so those at IT band, again, really connecting the knee and the hip. The hip openers make for healthier knees. Let's look side to side away from the elbows. Often what we think is a knee problem can often be a hip problem. And look over at your elbows too. Keeping this beautiful holistic pose, feeding and nourishing the whole spine. And knees together, bring the arms down. Grab a strap if you've got that nearby. We'll just take a little tour here. Again, legs plugging in. This is a really slow plugging in of our legs into the hips. Reach with the strap to the right foot and to the ball of the foot. We'll reach up in a hamstring stretch. Bend and straighten. 3 more times, bending and straightening. Anchoring through the hip. Take the strap into your left hand, so both sides of the strap. Take your right hand to the right top of the thigh. Inhale, exhale, and just press outward on the thigh towards the outer side of the body. Just feel the connection there in the hip. And bend and straighten. And let's just turn those little toes over towards the right shoulder and bend and straighten. Aligning the knee with the toes. So if it feels like too far for you to align those, bring it back towards center line and bend and straighten. Listen in to those hamstrings. Feel that energy from the heel to the hip. And then take the back to neutral, bring the toes towards the left shoulder, bend and straighten. So we're clearing that pathway. Such a strong connection that comes from the back of our heel, our Achilles, that meridian all the way up the leg to the hips and the low back. Clear the static. And then come on back to neutral. Bend the knee, release that leg. Take it long on the mat and the left leg long too. Notice there's probably a sizable difference. Let's come back, bend the knees, inhale the left knee towards the face, lasso that ball of the foot, and straighten out, bend and straighten. Three more times here. Making sure your inhale, mind's eye, travels with that inhale deep into the left hip. Taking the strap, both sides to take that stillness with the leg. Take the right hand to the strap. Take the left hand to the top of the thigh. Just press down an outward direction towards the outer side of the thigh. And just notice maybe the hamstrings speak a little more. Just a word about the angle of your leg. Just make sure if it's uncomfortable in the vertical, you can take the diagonal to your comfort zone. Inhale, exhale. Let's take those toes pointing towards the left shoulder. And bend and straighten. Maybe about 6 to 8 times. Each time, maybe you get a little more lighting up of the hamstring. And tour it back to neutral. Take the toes over towards the right shoulder. This will make, hope, walking up and down hills and such more comfortable. 2 more times. And then come on back to neutral. Release that knee towards the body and then strap over to the side. We will definitely come back to the back block and the strap. So make them handy and take both legs long. Inhale, arms next to ears. Let's hope we feel from fingertips to toes that energy, right? A flow that may have been a little static earlier. And bend the knees. We're going to take the arms next to the body. Exhale over onto your side. And we're going to roll on over to our all four. So let's just kind of make that adjustment. And we're going to be coming up into dog pretty soon, but by all means, cushion the knees if you need to, or the shins. Coming up into tabletop. Let's circle, finding a neutral tabletop first of all. Inhale, lengthen the spine in our horizontal. Exhale, let's find that navel toning towards the spine, so we're using that core strength. Now we can circle our hips back in a U shape, so over to the right and then down towards the heels and then up towards the left and then back again. Making that nice circular semicircle, I should say. And feeling those connections. Sliding gently through the semicircle. And then orbit yourself back to neutral. Inhale, feed the spine, nourish. Exhale, come into neutral. Into cat, let's curl up into cat. Inhale. Drop the head. Exhale. Release the jaw as you come into cow and stick the tongue out into lion's breath. The hips and the jaw energetically connected back into cat and releasing the hips. And release our jaw as well. One more time, magic 3. Orbit back to neutral. Curl the right toes under, lengthen the right leg behind you. Rock back and forth, hamstrings again, nice and awake. Let's find those hip points in the front of the hips and just see if we can even them out as we lift the right leg off the mat. You would feel free to feel with your hands, your left hand, to see if that's even, because it may have the illusion of being even. Then you feel it and you're like, oops, lift it or go down a little bit. Inhale that left arm next to left ear. As you inhale, reach further with your fingertips and your feet, your flexed foot. And then draw into the center line with your exhale. So we're strengthening, stabilizing muscles here. Hold here for another breath. Bird dog. That hold our hips steady. And then come on down. Curl the left toes under. Rock back and forth. And then lifting that left leg. Check in with the right hand on the hip points, being even. And the sacrum, balancing our beverage. Inhale, right arm next to right ear. As you inhale, really reach further and exhale, draw into the center line. Roll the shoulder away from the ear. This is the horizontal. Hold for another breath, lengthening the back of the neck. No strain there. We're lengthening everything. And exhale, come down. Beautiful. Now we'll come forward into a knee plank. So bring those hands forward, really point the index finger towards the top of the mat. Come to fists if that's more comfortable for your wrists. And then lengthen the spine, nice long back of the neck. Roll shoulders away from the ears. Hold here, squeezing those glutes, feeling that stability. Exhale, curl back through cat towards child's or puppy pose. Forehead comes to the mat. And you can just roll side to side. If you're in child's, just roll the hips side to side. Glide the hips side to side. And curl up back to knee plank, holding. If you want to do a full curl the toes under plank, you can do that too, if you feel ready for that, but no striving. Inhale, exhale, curl back, flow back into child's or puppy. Feel the drop of gravity. And with that gravity, if you'd like to drop some mental stress or worries or preoccupations, absorb. Let the earth absorb them. Inhale one more time into our float, knee plank. Hold steady. Get the bigger muscles working on the back. And exhale back. Nice job. Bring the forehead down before we curl up into our dog pose. But we're going to just roll the head side to side. And as you roll the head side to side, see if you can resonate that through the whole spine. So feel the reverberation down the spine, curling, rolling out that nice that nice spinal column in a long line. Excellent. Find some stillness here. Curl up into cat. And we'll turn this cat into a dog. So take that hand forward on both sides. Curl the toes under. We're just going to bring the knees right to glue them to the ribs. Inhale. I said thighs, right? Yes, thighs. Walk the feet gently forward. And pressing the full pads of your hands and fingertips into the floor. Exhale, feel the length of your spine. We've gotten nice reclined work that allowed the spine to carve out space. Let's pedal the feet. And express whatever version of dog you'd like with the heels as close to the floor as you'd like. Just keep the knees bent or straighten the legs. Release the neck. So what we want to do is focus on inhaling into the length of the spine and exhaling into the hands and the feet as our base. Feel free to take a lion's breath. Gently bend the knees and just take a moment to move the blanket aside. And then thighs and ribs together as we walk the hands back, finding our chair prep pose here at the base of the mat. So standing strong through the feet, press those toe pads into the floor. Hang the head down for a moment, just releasing the neck. And then sweep the arms up towards the sky as we take our ski racer prep. Sweep the arms down, and then next to the ears, bring the ribs off the thighs. So we're, again, even through the hips here, nice and even, so we can develop our strength and imagine squeezing that block between the thighs. And inhale up, squeezing that imaginary block. Exhale, arms down to the side. Roll the shoulders behind you and roll them forward. So if you have that block handy, And just take that block, and we're just going to remind ourselves about further stabilizing through the inner thighs. So take the block in between the thighs, just above the knees, and so that allows the feet to be hip width apart. Find a mountain pose. Inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, hands to those hip points, so those bikini bones. Exhale, hinging at the hip. Squeeze the block as you just hinge forward and lean forward. You don't have to go to a horizontal. You can just go to a diagonal. Inhale, back up to vertical. Take the hands to the lumbar curve and look up at the sky and a nice little camel, squeezing the block. And then exhale forward, bowing forward. Inhaling sky energy up, pressing the hands into that low back, downward, and then come up, exhale into our forward bow. And as we bring the energy, come back to vertical, bringing that exhale into our center axis, our vertical axis, through from the center of the feet, up through that, squeezing the block. Imagine the block's not there, so we're going to work that energy throughout all of our movements. Let's take the block away for a moment, place it on the floor, and we're going to step forward, and we'll be grabbing that strap at some point, but I'll kind of get you there. So from mountain pose, we're just going to simply step forward on our right foot. Inhale, exhale, step forward, taking a confident step forward. Now you're going to curl the back toes under, keeping those hip points towards the top of the mat. And stand strong through your right leg. So we're going to tiptoe the left foot, but we're going right into a balancing stick here. So inhale the arms next to the ears as if you're squeezing that block between the hands. Keeping the shoulders rolling away from the ears. See if you can let go with the left foot. And come towards that hinging point at the right hip. And practice here with however up and down you'd like to go, kind of a bowing like we were doing, but this time on the right leg. Keeping the back of the neck soft, the strain in the face, just inhale and exhale. Relax the face. Allow the breath to travel from the fingertips to the back of that active left foot. And then step forward to mountain pose at the top of the mat. At this point, if you can grab the strap, it's a nice moment to do this. So just take it in your hand. And from mountain pose, we're going to step back with the right foot towards warrior one. So you're angling that back foot about 45 degrees. And standing strong through your feet. Inhale. Exhale, bring those feet energetically together and draw the right hip forward. Now, if that's bothersome, you can bring that foot in a little bit in the back so it's not so angled for your knee. So let's train our hips a little bit and the legs to kind of coordinate well with the hips, with the strap. So let's take the strap halfway, fold it, and take it around the front thigh. And you're going to hold the strap behind you with your right hand. So you're just stabilizing that leg. So we're trying to inwardly rotate the leg. So what we're going to do is actually inhale, exhale, take both hands to the strap, one in the right and one in the left. Begin to come into warrior one. So you're going to adjust that back foot, drop the pelvis down. You guys are familiar with this. So feeling that strap on your right leg, the top of the thigh, you're going to pull the left side towards the inner direction. So you're inwardly rotating that thigh a little more. And just feel that pull. And then you can take the strap into the right, both sides of the strap into the right hand, and just maintain that inward rotation of that leg as you drop in towards our warrior one legs. And then release the strap and take it to the front leg. Stay strong in your nice warrior legs. Take the halfway strap around the left leg. And if you can reach your right arm back and just tug gently on that right side of the strap, we're going to also inwardly rotating this leg. And then take the strap into the left hand and just pull gently back towards towards the left side of the back of the mat. And then release. Inhale, exhale, just feel warrior one with that extra adjustment, and inhale the arms above the head. Draw shoulders away from the ears, feeling the reach of the side bodies. And now we'll transition, just hold on to that strap and tiptoe on up to the top of the mat. Beautiful. Let's turn around and face the other way. And let's make sure I'm on time here. Inhale. Exhale, step forward into your left foot. Sorry, we're going to balance. So take that strap to the side. Sorry, folks. Step forward with your left foot. Tiptoe the right foot forward. Take the hands to those hip points. And we'll balance hinging on the left hip. Come back up. Practice with the arms next to the ears. Playful here. So our hips carry a lot, but we can just kind of pivot and play, keeping that right foot active, the breath, channeling that energy, fingertips to heels. And one more time. Excellent. When you are ready, come forward into mountain. Just shake out the legs. My hips feel looser. And we're going to take our strap, sweep the left foot back to our warrior one prep. Inhale, exhale, draw that left hip forward. And take the strap around that left leg. Bring each side of the strap right and left behind you. And exhale, let's drop right into our warrior one. So bend that front knee, hold steady in this warrior one legs. And with that strap, take the right hand and just tug behind you. So feel that inward rotation. The inner thigh rotates towards the back body. That's inward rotation. Then you take both sides of the strap in your left hand and just kind of feel that tug. It's a tug, really, less than pulling. And then release. Then bring the strap forward around the front of the right thigh. And wrap it around that. Take it in your right hand. You can take your left hand back and just grab the left side and tug gently in towards the back right side of the mat. And then into the right hand and just pull back. So this is some Iyengar, nice inspired techniques here to plug our hips in and feel more powerful in our steady standing poses. And then release the strap. Just let it lie there. Inhale the arms above the ears. Exhale, shoulders away from the ears. So strong. Sweet. Sweep the arms down. Just grab the strap as you tiptoe forward. Up to mountain. Hopefully that kind of rocked your world. We'll take the strap over to the side. Stand strong at the top of the mat, facing this other direction. Sweep the arms up to the sky. Inhale, tall. Exhale, extend out to wingspan. And dive down to the mat. Keep the legs straight if that's comfortable for you, or not. Bend them a little bit. Take your block, if you have it nearby, place it in its tall position and just place the hands on the block and hang the head down. Using that grounding energy of your hands on the block, inhale into a flat back. Again, you can do this with bent knees as well. And then dive down. And then inhale back into a flat back, finding that horizontal plane. And exhale, release. Sweet. Taking the fingertips to the floor, bend the knees, move that block aside. And we're going to walk back to a down dog on our way down. Hopefully your hamstrings feel a little more comfortable in this down dog. Exhale, knees down to the mat. And sweep back into a child's pose. For one rotation of breath into the belly. Feel the belly at the thighs. Exhale. Drop that energy down into the earth. Let it go. And then roll onto your back for a twist. We're going to do a figure 4 twist. So if you are not comfortable with the knees in a figure 4 in a twist, just go into a twist with the knees together. Simple as that. So before we go into this, let's just take a breath here with our knees bent. Easy pose. Exhale. Notice the difference in your hips. Just kind of explore this beautiful, deep connection in the body, our skeleton. And then inhale the left knee towards the chest. Exhale. Take the left knee to the right thigh. Feeling that left hip open. Press your hand on that left hand on the left thigh and vice versa, and then release. You can hug your right knee towards you. Back of the thigh, hold. Figure 4. So we've gone to some openings that are even through the hips, but now we're kind of going left to right. And then let's exhale ourselves, foot down to the floor on the right, bridge up and come on over onto your right side, holding onto your left ankle, staying in that figure 4 if you can, or if it's knee compromising, by all means, just bring the knees together. And you're going to hold here on your side, maybe your left foot and left hand, right foot and left hand find each other. Pelvis is going to stay in the 90 degrees here to the floor. Inhale, let's bring the sternum towards the sky and see if we can release a little bit through that rib cage, looking up in our twist. Spending a few luxurious breaths here and then looking over the left shoulder. Get a triple whammy here with a hip opener and a twist and the back body release. And when you're ready to let go, just come on back to figure 4 and unwind. Bringing the left foot down. Right foot inhale, knee towards the chest. Right ankle to the left thigh. So we're going to press our right hand into that right thigh, thigh into the hand, inhale, and exhale, release. Beautiful. And then hug your knee towards you on the left side. Feet are awake. So we protect the knees. Oh, goodness. Bend a breath here. And left foot down to the floor. Bridge up. Bring the right foot to the floor. Left hand grabs right ankle. We bend the left knee. Maybe we take the right hand to the left in our twister game or not. Inhaling, sternum towards the sky, exhaling into a twist. As you come into the twist, make sure that right foot stays active on the floor, pressing into the floor. Maybe look over your right side. Seeing where the resistances reside. Nourish with breath. And release the hands, roll onto the side, back into figure four. Unwind figure four, circle the ankles. And let's find our way into your recline here. Right leg long on the mat, pressing through that foot, nice and flexed. Inhale, flex that foot, active, and then exhale, release the foot out to the side. This turn is coming from deep within the hip, rotating outward. Press the left foot down and left leg straight. Exhale, open that foot out to the side. Left hip rotates outward. And then pressing through your elbows, lift the sternum up to the sky, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And release with an exhale, palms up to the sky, naturally just fall open. Coming back to that conduit of the breath. Our inhale travels through the nostrils to the third eye, down the spine, to the pelvis, expanding. And exhaling, drawing in back to the spine, from the tailbone on up. Releasing through the crown of the head. Through this tour of your breath, can you exhale a little more, opening into those connections of the hips? Maybe they've been holding something you weren't aware of. Taking our intergalactic journey into the hips. Our connection that gets us around so many places, all of the moving we do. When we sit back and lie back and let them release. We can reverberate this through the whole body. 3 more celebratory breaths here. Feeling lightness through the whole body and the hips. On the last exhale, wiggle the fingers and the toes. Bend the knees and the elbows. Ease yourself onto your right side. And When you inhale again, just use the hands to help yourself back up to whatever seated position you're comfortable in. Hands at the heart in Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for joining me in the practice today. Namaste.